Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second of our fourth round matchups here in Season 3 of the Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins Randomizer League. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I'll be bringing the action here to you, and we have Beast Mode in action. That's right, Beast Mode is activated, as this is a little bit more of a challenging round for our runners here in the fourth and final round of the season. I'll get into a little bit about what goes on with that in a moment, but first we'll go over the basics here for those tuning in for the first time. The object of Super Mario Land 2 is for our racers to defeat the evil Wario, and to do so, they will advance through 6 different zones to collect, as the game's title indicates, 6 golden coins by defeating 6 different bosses. Those golden coins will allow access to Wario's castle for that final showdown. Now, what's randomized here in Super Mario Land 2? Just about everything. The levels are shuffled, the zones with dual exits may or may not be swapped, the bosses, enemies, and power-ups are randomized, also changed around to the zone's music, whether or not a zone's level auto-scrolls, and the physics, where you can either have moon physics, space physics, or the standard normal physics, and they tend to wreak havoc on our runners, especially here in Beast Mode, where in addition to all of that, the midpoint bells, which are kind of a place you can start if you get halfway through the level and end up dying, you can restart there. Well, those are replaced with enemies, so any death means you got to start back at the beginning of the board. Also, the physics are more harsh, the enemy placement is more specific in terms of challenges, the boss hit points are randomized, and then, of course, there's also the power-ups. The amount of them are reduced, as there are a lot more money bags, and it looks like we're getting things started here, and our runners are going to be starting in Macro Zone 3 to get things going here, as both of our runners quickly getting a carrot power-up, which allows them the bunny ears, the utilization to kind of hover over the ground, and that certainly can be very advantageous in a lot of different stages. Both almost in lockstep, as Typo getting through the pipe a little bit easier than LateLearner to get things started here. But you can see leads changing back and forth very quickly. All it takes is one death or one incorrect exit, and the lead certainly can change around. So now hopping up through the shelves of the fireplace here, and missed jump or two here by Typo, and that gives LateLearner a little bit of a chance to catch up. But after the first zone here, a slight lead for Typo, and he's going to head off to the left here to Tree Zone. And LateLearner going to do the same. And we'll see what Tree Zone 1 is this time around. Oh, it looks like it's the traditional start level. So this is going to be very pedestrian for both of our runners, especially having those bunny ears, as you can see on LateLearner's side, able to hover over a good portion of the board. And Typo getting a little bit of a boost from that Paragoomba. It's almost like the cape in Super Mario World. But there aren't too many boards that you can see with this particular scenario. So Typo with another running start and a little bit more hovering, and now they're both just about even. Typo dropping down, as is LateLearner, and barely a second apart are the two here. As we go to our first split level, Tree Zone 2, which in this case is Pumpkin Zone 2. So there are going to be two exits here, one that leads to the secret part of the level, and the other which will advance them to the upper part of the tree. They're looking for whichever one will lead them to the upper part of the tree and get them closer to the boss, but they don't know which one it is. And both of our runners grabbing a 1-up. And an invincibility star as well. So just like that, LateLearner with a slight lead at the moment. But opting to spin jump to regain the bunny ears, and that allows Typo to catch up. And just as I said, any slight movement can cause a lead change here, and that's exactly what we have. Lead going back and forth, things very close. It's what you like to see in a race like this. So now a little more hovering on both of their parts, and they're both going to drop down and almost in stereo get to the goal. And it is the incorrect one. The traditional is not the correct one. Now they are going to go through this board because of how quick it is. The Pumpkin Secret Zone 1. It's pretty much just a sprint here, and again, almost in stereo, getting the exact same thing here. So now is the correct one. So now they have to go back through Pumpkin Zone 2 to get to the secret exit. And as noted in chat, a double pumpkin sense, yes. So now back at it with the invincibility star go both of our runners. And again, LateLearner grabbing that carrot and getting a slight delay because of it. And now they go down into the depths, and they have to carefully avoid this boo. Although Typo just kind of taking a damage boost through it, but oh, now he's in a bit of a pickle here and having to take yet another damage boost. And now as Small Mario is unable to spin jump to the blocks to get to that lower level. So, oh no, Typo's going to have to reset. So LateLearner is going to advance and take a lead here. Now over to Tree Zone 4, which in this case is Mario Zone 1. Typo, meanwhile, heading over to utilize some of his coins and the proverbial showcase showdown wheel, and is able to get a carrot, and will now have the bunny ears once again. But a lot of time lost here. So LateLearner dropping down and now has the Fire Flower, which is generally what you want to have heading into a boss confrontation. Is now we have Tree Zone 5, which is in its vanilla location. That does tend to happen every once in a while. Everything can't be completely randomized. You'd expect that. Have to throw in some vanilla-ness every once in a while to throw off those expectations. So now some tricky jumps here, as this is the one challenge with having the Fire Flower as opposed to the bunny ears here in this particular part of the level, is that with all this sky type area, well, it's very easy to fall if you don't have at least a little bit of an ability to control gravity. But that being said, LateLearner is able to handle it, and we have our first boss, which is the Witch. So now normally the Witch takes 3 hits, but in this particular beast mode here, the Witch could take anywhere between 3 to 5 hits. But is able to take out the Witch there, and the first coin of the match will go to LateLearner. The Tree Zone coin being picked up here at the 7-minute and 47-second mark. And now over to the Hippo, which is in its vanilla position. That is another of our split levels. So there'll be 2 exits, an upper and a lower. And we'll see which one LateLearner opts to go with here. One will lead to the space zone. The other will shoot them out over toward the macro zone. And the upper level takes him over to the macro zone, and that's what he's going to go for here. And macro zone 1 is, in fact, macro zone 1. Now, Typo now in the Tree Zone 5. Ooh, nice duck there. And LateLearner still with the Fire Flower and making his way through this split level. So he's going to go up here to the secret zone, or the secret exit in Macro Zone 1, and it is the ideal choice, as it's going to lead him to the secret zone, which this time around is the Turtle Secret Zone. You can tell because as the blocks go along, you see that the blocks and the coins spell out Wario Land 2. Also gives you an idea of how far along in the zone's level he is. So taking a bit of a damage boost there. Meanwhile, Typo heading further up into the clouds. And now Typo is going to be taking on the Witch. And the Macro Zone boss is the Mario Zone 4. With what looks to be some wonky physics. And Typo is going to take out the witch, but still has a little bit of ground to make up here, as getting coin number 1 at 11:17. About a 3.5-minute differential. So now heading up to the hippo is Typo, and is going to see that it is vanilla. But with the sped up Wario castle theme, and LateLearner taking a hit. But now we've got the mama bird. And now using the physics, and Typo went the incorrect exit as well, and is going to head on over to Macro Zone. Meanwhile, Mama Bird is taken out, and we have coin number 2 at 12:24 for LateLearner. So now LateLearner is going to head back over here, and yeah, having those moon physics does make the bird easy. So that's our first instance of the physics being made different than what we're used to, and not too challenging for LateLearner, but bit of a damage there for Typo. As LateLearner floating in the bubble through the level, and is going to take the lower exit to head on over to the Space Zone. Oh, wow. And Space Zone 1 is the traditional Turtle Zone 2. So the submarine is a split level. Meanwhile, Typo had taken the less than ideal exit for Macro Zone 1, so now it's going on to Macro 2. So he'll have an extra stage to go through to get to the boss of Macro Zone. Meanwhile, LateLearner heading up towards the secret exit in what is known as the Gauntlet, as there are just a tunnel of enemies here. Bullet bills going back and forth, and now we've got a shark in the mix as well. But Trickley makes his way through, and meanwhile, Typo is in Macro Zone 3, which is Tree Zone 3. And the secret exit is not the correct one. They're going to have to go the long way through. So the long way through the submarine is the path for LateLearner. Typo, meanwhile, making quick work of Tree Zone 3 and is going to head over to the Macro Zone boss level, which is Mario Zone 4. Now, LateLearner having a great deal of trouble trying to get past the shark and is not able to. So if this is a sticking point here for LateLearner, this could allow Typo to get right back into this. So now Typo adjusting to the moon physics here in Mario Zone 4. And LateLearner, Again, this time now taking a damage boost to get through the shark. And oh, there's another one in the same scenario, but he just barely gets past that. And now you've got the shark swimming atop the water. As meanwhile, Typo is going to take on the mama bird, usually the boss of the tree zone. And makes quick work of it with the fireballs. And that is going to get coin number 2 here for Typo. Coming in at the 16-minute and 43-second mark. So evened up on coins, but a little over a 4-minute advantage between when LateLearner got his and when Typo has acquired his. So this is a chance with Typo taking the correct exit to potentially catch up here, as LateLearner has had his troubles in the submarine. And LateLearner picking up a crucial carrot to get those bunny ears. Not that they'll allow him to hover so much in the water, as they're already doing so by swimming. And just like that, Typo is in the same board as LateLearner. Now, if he happens to go the non-traditional route and avoid the gauntlet, that could basically even things up. But LateLearner nearing the end of the stage, and he gets to the goal and is going to move on to Space Zone 2, which is the final Pumpkin Zone, Pumpkin 4. And it looks as though Typo is going the long way through and avoiding the gauntlet. Some great job of dodging the sharks. And opting to take a damage boost through there. Meanwhile, LateLearner is going to take on the Space Zone boss. This time around it is the Octopus, normally the Turtle Zone boss. And LateLearner takes it out, so he's going to get the Space Zone coin and take a lead here in this race, or retake the lead, or continue with the lead here at 19:26. But Typo unrealizingly making the correct decision, wanting to avoid the gauntlet here in beast mode. And hits the bell above the goal, which will allow him to go for a power-up, or sometimes some extra lives. In this case, it is the carrot. So that'll allow him to catch up a couple of levels there, as LateLearner now in Pumpkin Zone 1, which this time around is the Miscellaneous Overworld level. Yes, it is the mole. And he makes quick work of it because it's not auto-scrolling this time. So now we have another of our split levels here. There are 2 in the Pumpkin Zone, the only zone that has multiple split zone levels. So it's all about choices here. And just that quickly, Typo is on the Octopus. So that correct decision in the submarine, saving a great amount of time for Typo. And now while hovering overhead here, but he took a little bit of damage there and lost the bunny ears, but now with the max 5 hits here, takes out the octopus. Actually, the octopus can have up to 6, so almost the max. Meanwhile, LateLearner hits the secret exit, and it's the incorrect one. So, LateLearner having to repeat Tree Zone 2, having taken the incorrect exit and leading to the Tree Secret exit. And Typo now going to go into the Turtle Zone. And Turtle Zone 1, we have our first auto-scroller, and this time around it is the Macro Secret Zone. So we know there is at least one forced auto-scroller. Meanwhile, Typo acquiring that third coin, the Space Zone coin, at 21:20, so the differential now just under a minute and a half. So that surprising decision to go through take the long way through Turtle Zone 2. And now heading the right way, and we have Pumpkin Zone 3 in Pumpkin Zone 3. That is our third vanilla located spot here in the race. Typo, meanwhile, going to head into the split zone here for Turtle, and it is the Space Zone 1. And it has its correct moon physics. Meanwhile, LateLearner grabbing a Fire Flower. And because he does so, is not able to take the secret exit. And we'll see if that standard exit is correct, and it is. So now we have Space Zone 2, and it has its standard Space Zone physics. Standard physics, but not standard scrolling, notes our restreamer and tracker Wolfman. So meanwhile, Typo making the incorrect choice and is opting to go through what is the secret zone. In this case is Mario Zone 2. And meanwhile, the boss in Space Zone is Tatanga. So everything vanilla about it except that it's representing Pumpkin Zone and the fact that it has no auto scroll, but LateLearner making quick work of it, and that's going to be coin number 4. Here at 25.35. Meanwhile, Typo heading back into the Space Zone as LateLearner gets Mario Zone 1, which is Mario Zone 3 this time around. And it looks like Typo grabbing a fairly crucial one-up here, although neither of them have their lives endangered in any way. We've got some more money bags on the side of LateLearner, and LateLearner taking a death. Toy Soldier just tromping all over him. And meanwhile, Typo taking a death to the moon spikes. And a little bit of trouble here for LateLearner, able to traverse over that. Hops gets a little bit of a boost from the bullet bill. Tried a little bit of trickery there, and the bullet said nope. And another death for LateLearner. So Mario Zone 3 proving a bit troublesome here with the enemy placement. Typo, meanwhile, hopping with the moon physics here, and LateLearner opting to soft reset and is going to nope out of Mario Zone. Meanwhile, Typo taking another death, and LateLearner is going to head into Turtle Zone now. And Typo opting to go back into the auto-scroller as well. Perhaps heading in to try to get a power-up. And Typo thinking better of it. And now is going to go into Mario Zone and have his crack at Mario 3. Or maybe not. Opts to nope out of that as well. And instead is going to take a spin on the old Showcase Showdown wheel, it looks like. And gets himself a carrot. So we've got some bunny ears. Meanwhile, LateLearner heading through that auto-scroller. And now gets to try his hand at Space Zone 1. Typo does not have the Turtle Zone coin. It is still 4-3. Typo just opted to go back to get a power-up and did a little detour on the plan here. And that was the part that gave him some trouble earlier. He was able to duck through nicely here. And LateLearner running into yet another money bag. So no shortage of coins, that's for sure. And using the bullet to boost up. And gets hit just at the end, but is able to get through the goal. And now at Mario 2 is going to be Tree Zone 4. And a quick death to the B for Typo. As LateLearner now moon jumping through and Typo heading back out to get another power-up. One of our runners, Beast here, jokingly saying that Typo may have a gambling addiction. Back to the Showcase Showdown wheel for another carrot. And LateLearner finding a crucial hidden carrot, hidden power-up. So back now into the space zone go both of our runners. Now with the moon physics, you aren't able to flap your ears, but if nothing else, that is a bit of a safety net in this case in terms of taking damage. And the traditional exit is the correct one, so LateLearner going to head on over to Turtle Zone 3, which is in its vanilla location. So that is the third correct choice so far up for LateLearner. And now heading into Turtle Zone 3 as well is Typo. So we know all of the split level decisions now. 3 out of 7 for LateLearner, and Typo, well, still has a couple to do. And the boss here in the Turtle Zone is the Three Little Pigs. Now, each pig is randomized to have anywhere between 2 and 4 hits. Normally they take 3, and this is where that hovering comes into play. And that is going to be enough. So coin number 5 now for LateLearner, and that comes at 33.20. And not too far behind is Typo. As LateLearner heading back now into Mario Zone 1. Something that Typo has already gotten past, and now LateLearner having a lot more ease being able to float over most of the board. Meanwhile, Typo taking out the pigs and is going to get coin number 4 here at the 34-minute mark of this race. Now, Typo still has some catching up to do as he still has the Mario Zone and the Pumpkin Zone to go take care of. So now back into the B-comb goes Typo. Ooh, and takes a bit of a damage boost there to get past that thwomp-like bee. Meanwhile, LateLearner gets through Mario 3 and is now onto the B-comb level and is going to have similar challenges, actually the same challenges that Typo had. And he can't avoid the damage, and there's another money bag. So now LateLearner looking to get the timing right, and he does. Sneaks through the pipe. Meanwhile, Typo down to Small Mario as well, and looks like we've got some space physics here that are helping, or perhaps moon physics. It's hard to tell with the way that they're jumping. That definitely is moon physics. Oh, and Typo taking a death. Perhaps a little hasty on that jump. And Typo's going to soft reset and go to gather another power-up. Meanwhile, LateLearner is trying to chase down the mushroom. Oh, but it drops down, and well, he realizes that it's now in the spikes, and he can't get it. But heading into the pipe, let's see what Treasures Await is now another Showcase Showdown wheel, bringing the bunny ears to Typo as LateLearner gets through Tree Zone 4. So let's see what the third Mario Zone has. It looks like it is Turtle Zone 1. So Typo trying again, and utilizing the moon physics rather nicely as LateLearner swimming through as best he can here, trying to avoid the enemies. And picking up a crucial carrot in the middle. So that's going to get LateLearner to the goal here. And now the last boss of Mario Zone. We see that it is the Macro Zone 4 that he'll have to get through to get there. And by process of elimination, it is going to be the Sewer Rat. Typo going to head up and hit the bell to gain another power-up to replace those bits of damage that were taken as LateLearner floats over the top, and it looks like it is going to be another carrot. And LateLearner making quick work of the rat and is going to get coin number 6 here at 38 minutes and 23 seconds. So that is all 6 coins. You'll see it'll appear in a moment here. And that opens the door. And LateLearner will now head on into Wario's castle. Meanwhile, Typo getting through Turtle Zone and is now on the Mario Zone boss as well, as LateLearner heading into the castle at 38:58. And it looks like it is normal physics in Wario's castle. But that doesn't make it any less challenging, as you see. LateLearner with a very timely duck of the fireball. As Typo getting that much-needed carrot as well. Although there's only so much you can float over, but that floating certainly helps with any mistiming of a jump. And Typo waiting to go 2 cycles here with the rat, and is able to take out the rat as well. But it might be too little too late here, as coin number 5 for Typo here at 40 minutes and 9 seconds. LateLearner already a little past the midway point here of Wario's castle. So Typo is going to double back into Pumpkin Zone. And LateLearner taking a little bit of damage here. Spin jumps on one enemy. Spin jumps on the other 2 mini bosses here, and the last little bit. And a carrot power-up heading into the Wario battle. Now, each Wario phase can be 3, 4, or 5 hits, which, since our runners are used to 3 hits, it can throw their timing off just a little bit. As here, it looks like it's 4 hits for Wario. And now the third and final stage, and pending any disaster here, LateLearner is going to take it. And that is, in fact, going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, get out your GGs in chat for LateLearner, who is going to take this race with an official SRL time of 41 minutes and 40 seconds. So Typo now heading to the secret exit, and we learn that that is not the ideal one. So having to head back in, but first, he's going to try the tree secret zone. Why not? Doesn't want to soft reset and lose the power-up that he has. And it looks like we have LateLearner joining us in chat. GG, LateLearner.
Thank you very much.
So what'd you think of this seed here? It's had a couple of beastly moments, but looked like, at least from this vantage point, there wasn't anything that was too terribly challenging.
No, I've definitely had a more difficult 1FF non-beast mode randomizers. I feel like the last few levels was a few of the harder ones. Like, they all came in a row for me. Like, I needed a power-up a few times, I felt like. But as far as the start of it was really easy, the first couple of levels.
Well, it looked like the big challenge for you, at least early on, was a challenge for most folks, and that's in the submarine.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was the gauntlet was super easy, but doing the level small was terrifying until you get the carrot. The whole level.
Yeah, that was a point where Typo had just about caught up, as Typo didn't even bother with the gauntlet. He just went the long way through, and that allowed him to get pretty close. Really, the closest that this had gone was when you had both acquired the Space Zone coin. There was about a little less than a 2-minute differential between the two of you.
Okay. Yeah, he kept saying how easy it was, and I was like, I was still not thinking at the time. I didn't think it was that easy, so I was thinking he was way ahead of me. But
no, there was a point. I mean, it looks like it was pretty in sync for the first few minutes, but then a death from Typo split the gap a little bit. And to answer Wolfman's question, this is the sped up star song when you're running low on time. So it's yeah, it does throw you off a little bit when you hear it the first time. I know it threw me off when I first heard it. But yes, I mean, as far as you had gotten your first coin maybe about 3.5 minutes before Typo did the tree zone. And then you both went to macro zone, both guessing incorrect on the hippo, and there it expanded to about a 4-minute differential, a little more than.
Wow.
But then that decision with the submarine was what got things back together here.
Mm-hmm.
At least briefly, but then you'd started to pull away as he was having some trouble, and then kind of was having some indecision as far as where to go next, and kind of went between Pumpkin Zone, Mario Zone, and Turtle Zone.
Yeah, I got lucky a couple of times. I think I chose an exit just because I didn't have the power up to go for another exit, and that turned out right for me. If you see in Typo's level now, he went to the wrong exit just because he had a carrot. So I got a bit lucky in that sense.
Yeah, and looking at the overall, well, I'm looking here at the numbers. Looks like you'd, as far as the ideal or correct exits, you had gotten 3 out of the 7, whereas Typo had only gotten 1 out of the 7. The submarine was the only one that was selected correctly.
Yeah.
So he had the extra level to do in Macro Zone, and because there have been so many challenges with the power-ups, he ended up just going through the 2 zones in Pumpkin Zone that were, or the 2 levels in Pumpkin Zone that were the secret levels.
Mm-hmm.
So he did Tree Secret as well as Space Secret, and is now in the non-auto-scrolling Space Physics Space Zone 2.
Oh yeah.
That had to at least been a little
nice
bit of relief.
Yeah. This and Space 1 is probably the scariest levels for me, I would say. And I can't remember. It was Mario 1. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, there's a few.
The gears did give you a little bit of trouble, from what I remember.
Sorry, it was the not the overworld. Sorry. Oh god, I'm getting mixed up completely now. Sorry. It was Mario 1 Overworld, but it wasn't Mario 1. I think it was still a Mario level. But...
Well, might have been. Well, I was gonna say Mario 3. Oh, okay, Mario 3. Yeah, that would have. That was the one to start Mario's. Okay.
Yeah.
That was giving both of you guys a little trouble. And Typo finding an invincibility star, which will help him plow through some of those angry stars, and now on the way to Satanga. So this not being too bad here. I know the race that I called yesterday evening certainly had its share of challenges, and Fireball's taking out Satanga very quickly here. So at 4803, Typo is going to get coin number 6.
Yeah, I saw Sharky playing 3FF yesterday, Beast Mode, which was a mean one for him, which isn't really fair on an inexperienced player. And
also against Rave Tuba, who's definitely among, if not one of the top racers here in this in this community.
Definitely, yeah.
But I mean, everybody's new at some point or another, so there is that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, with no altered physics here in the castle, it shouldn't be too bad. Although this first room, I noticed, had given you at least a slight challenge in the beginning. I thought, this will be easy, and then, just that little hesitation of, all right, this isn't going to be a complete cakewalk.
Yeah, I was praying that I'd keep my carrot when I went into Wario, because it's just safe. It's so much safer when you've got a carrot. You don't want to get to the last boss room and die and lose like 3.5 minutes or whatever it is. 3 minutes.
About that. I mean, from when you entered the castle to when you had finished, it was a little less than 3 minutes, about 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah, 38:58, just before the 39-minute mark is when you had entered the castle, and 41:40 was your done time. So,
okay.
Yeah, a little under 3 minutes. Certainly not bad here, and hopefully we'll see more of the same here for Typo, although he doesn't have the advantage of the bunny ears of being able to float over these platforms and having to run and do some timely jumps.
Yeah, I hate this bit. Sometimes it just eats your input and you just fall off. It's an absolute nightmare.
But able to get through that quickly here, and a couple of spin jumps taking out those bosses, and yeah, great castle here for Typo so far, and he's now going to gather those bunny ears, and now it's time for the showdown with Wario. And not even 2 minutes in, so as long as things are pretty quick here.
Hopefully he'll stay above Wario over the free health. Yep, he didn't do it. That's what I usually do.
Oh, yeah, the randomized, that's one of the things with Beast Mode that throw a lot of people off, is the randomized boss hits. And just when he needs a power-up, there's a money bag. I think I may have just struck with the commentator's curse.
Yeah.
I don't do it often, and this is there it is. Oh, doggone it!
No.
Type when you go back and watch this, just hashtag blame Burgundy. We'll get that trending on Twitch and all other forms of social media.
Oh, now he has to do this with no. Wow, he did it straight away. Oh no, he's not. I thought he was fairer than he was. So anyway.
All right, that time it was the victor's curse. I had nothing to do with that.
this bit's just a curse in general, as small Mario.
And Typo for the umpteenth time here. I think this is Showcase Showdown wheel, and
nice.
Fortunately, each time getting a carrot, so that at least has been lucky for him. Yes, the avid game show fan in me had to make a Price is Right reference as far as that wheel goes. Just for those like Showcase Showdown, what is he talking about? There we go. I have to explain some of the references here and whatnot.
I had completely forgot about that until you reminded me. Thank you.
Nothing like a show that's been around for, golly, what is it now? 46 years now, something like that.
Okay.
Well, at least the Barker and Drew Carey versions.
Right.
At least here in the States. I'm sure there are other iterations worldwide.
Yep.
As now Typo with the Fire Flower making through here. So those platforms can be tricky without that hoverability. I know that had saved you at one point here in the race.
Yeah. Those elevated platforms are terrifying.
Yeah, those things seem to be one of the more troublesome things for a lot of runners from what I've seen in this in calling a few of these races now.
Mm-hmm. It's actually easier when you're doing it casually, when you're doing it like trying to do it as fast as possible, than it is to do as big Mario, I think anyway. Because when you're doing it casually in like a glitchless speedrun, you do it as small Mario really, really fast. You just sit right through.
So it kind of throws off the timing a little bit. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, among all the other things, I guess the timing has to be randomized as well.
Oh, I'm not sure it is it? Oh, it could be.
Well, I mean, as far as, what would you do as small Mario versus large, and this time around, not even bothering with the carrot, and is just going to go Fire Flower strats, it looks like.
Please run.
And now with the information of, all right, it's not just 3.
Come on. Phew.
Just kind of a nice little parting fireball. That's
Firework.
Oh. Okay, looking to take a couple of bits of damage boost there, and I guess maybe didn't think. Maybe he's learning now that it's random for each time, and going into the final bit. Oh, but there's a clutch fireball.
Oh.
And now looks like gonna fight fire with fire. And there it is. So Typo is going to finish here and do so gallantly with an official SRL time of 55 minutes and 8 seconds.
GG.
And in this case, it could be good game or great gambling, as there was a lot of that on Typo's side, going back to that wheel on a few different occasions and coming up very well every time. And Typo joining us here in chat. GG, no matter how you mean it.
Oh, thank you. That was very, very easy for a 3FF. And it would have been pretty average for 1FF even. So I'm surprised that that was actually a beast mode seed.
Oh yeah, LateLearner did mention that he has had some 1FF non-beast mode seeds that were more challenging than this, but As Oh Dear noting in chat, he usually beats Dark Souls faster than that.
Yeah. I'm not too good at randomizer. And the other problem is I just have muscle memory left over from running glitchless, so you can see that killed me every single time. Like, I just do 3 hits on Wario, and then I run forward, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, there we go. Die to Wario.
It's so easy to do.
Yep.
Well, it's not something you're used to encountering in anything really other than beast mode.
Yeah. And I've only ever completed 1 beast mode seed, so yeah, it's not really something that's familiar to me.
Now, would that one be this one here, or was it one in addition to this?
No, actually, I just completed one previous to this, right before I started. Actually, I didn't complete it. I didn't get past Castle, but I mean, I basically completed it. So yes, this is the first one that I actually completed.
Well, there you go. That certainly is an accomplishment and something you wouldn't. You never know what to expect here, not just with the Super Mario Land 2 community, but also just with Randomania in general.
Yeah, that is true.
Alrighty, any other thoughts about the seed here before we wrap things up?
The only real part where I guess I would have encountered some trouble is if I couldn't get a power-up for Mario 1, but it was pretty easy to just go and get one from the game and go in, and then Mario 1 was pretty easy, but besides that, I can't really think of anything that was too bad, except I took so many wrong exits.
Yeah, we did note that you were 1 for 6, but it was a big one, and that it got you pretty close to caught up along the way here as the submarine. You opted not to even bother with the gauntleting, just took the long way through. What was your mindset on that?
I already had the power-up. I had a Fire Mario, so I thought, well, am I going to get a power-up somewhere in here? Let me just go all the way to the end. The whole thing is, if Gauntlet is really bad, you can just spend 10 minutes resetting on Gauntlet over and over again. And I thought about that and said, hey, if the rest of the level isn't too bad, let's just take the chance here.
Did you keep Fire Flower after the sharks? Through the sharks?
No, I didn't. Oh, you mean the sharks in the corridor at the beginning?
Yeah, going upwards.
Yeah, I still had Fire Flower after that.
Wow, I didn't even know that's possible. I can't do it when small, never mind big.
That's like the only thing that I've done over and over again, trying to sneak through the sharks. Like I've gotten pretty good at that.
That's impressive. Bloody hell.
Not good at everything else in this game, but yeah. Yeah, I kept that, and that's why I was able to get through everything else.
Nice. Yeah, it was terrifying doing small. The whole level.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, especially the stairs. Stairs were. Whenever you see a shark and a bullet bill on the stairs, I just completely freak out.
It is something to give even the most experienced runners in this game a little bit of agita, without question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's it for me, though.
Yeah, same.
Alrighty, well, great race for both of you here. GG's across the board, and want to let you know that's coming up here among the Randomania networks. Well, as soon as we wrap things up here in just a matter of moments, we're going to be heading over to Randomania 2 for Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament action. That's coming up in just about a minute or so. Also, later tonight here, there's a plethora of things going on among the Randomania networks, including another Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament over on Randomania 4. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern, we've got 2 things going on at the same time. On Randomania 3, yet another Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament match. And right here on Randomania, it will be a Legend of Zelda Randomizer Battle Royal. And then over on Randomania 2 at 11 o'clock tonight, just 5 hours from now, it's going to be a Zelda 2 The Adventures of Link Max Rando Tournament quarterfinal match. That's going to be between Theirwolf and the creator of the game, Digshake. So that certainly should be good. And don't forget, tomorrow, coming up at noon, we have a Dragon Quest Super Famicom tournament match, as that tournament just got started today. So that's going to be heating up. And a lot of the other great things here on Randomania. Of course, we've got the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Weekly. That's at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And also the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Wednesday Warrior Weekly. That's Wednesdays at 9 here on Randomania. Folks, make sure to give our runners a follow, LateLearner and not underscore typo, as well as our restreamer and tracker for the race here, Wolfman2000. Appreciate your efforts as always. And give me a follow too as well. For everybody here, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your stars sing brightly and your seeds stay classy. We're going to now take you over to Randomania 2 for Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament action. Good evening, everyone.